Hello
Welcome to
to
your
your critical
engagement.
experience.
Several years ago, just like you, I went through my first critical engagement experience.
It was one of the first activities for me to leave the UWC mission, and I was very nervous.
I wasn't really sure what was going to happen or what it was about, and I'm sure many of you also have those questions.
I knew there was gonna be something about thinking, and we would have to think a lot.
But I realized that throughout the process, critical engagement is an opportunity for you to think about yourself and think about what it means to be in a group.
I feel that it was a moment for us to build that safe space in the community, to feel that we could trust each other and that we could feel comfortable not only to share our stories but also
to
to
listen to other people's experiences and to being able to relate, or maybe not, but just really taking the time to be there for other people and to be as respectful and welcoming as possible.
It taught me that no matter how kind we think we are, we can always be kinder.
For me, critical engagement encapsulates what UWC meant. It was a quick time where I got to connect with all my co-years, develop a greater sense of trust and understanding.
So I feel like it was really a space where we could discuss issues from the world.
That goes beyond the IB, goes beyond just having a normal international experience, but it's all about really understanding and taking the time to listen to your peers.
No matter how well we think we listen to those around us, there is always something that we are still not hearing.
It's about understanding what's going on in the world, but at the same time, engaging with this topic within who you are.
I got to reflect deeply on why I'm at UWC and what do I want to get from it. What kind of change do I want to bring in my life and in the world?
Who am I? Where am I going? What determines my sense of self, my sense of others, my sense of the world?
It was the first time that I realized that I had been viewing the world in a very one-dimensional manner, only through my lens and my perspective. What critical engagement did for me was burst that worldview open.
Every time I've encountered things that I would questioning my knowledge, or even simple things that I think I know, I would think about what I've learned and the things that I encountered critically through my critical engagement experience.
I've had some of the most beautiful and incredible interactions during and with critical engagement.
Basically, my critical engagement was the starting point of all the friendships I got and I've made in UWC.
And what we have prepared for you is a content-rich package of information.
And it will help you understand not only diversity, but also how diversity relates to every other part of this course.
A lot of the stuff that's discussed during critical engagement is really foundational for how you connect to the UWC values, but also how you build community.
Critical engagement is about asking ourselves those difficult questions that we often try to avoid.
Although you can be at a UWC or living these values, it's really hard to sit and question at points what it actually means. How does that impact you, and how do your actions, intentional or not, impact those around you?
It's a challenge because being critical and sharing, even in a comforting, safe space, can be really hard work. It can be a challenge for all kinds of reasons.
Give yourself to those that you may not understand, those that you may not know, those that you may not necessarily like. And when I say those, I also mean those parts of yourself that you do not necessarily understand or like or even know very well.
It's about accepting those dark sides and learning how to do and be better.
While talking about communication, I remember I could not speak English very well. So if you are scared because of your English, or if you are scared because you don't like to use words to express yourself, I remember that during my critical engagement, I had to develop other ways of communicating, whether it is with my body, by using the whiteboard, whether it is by just, setting my intentions and just being actively listening is already communicating.
Push through the discomfort and vulnerability that comes up when we're talking about some of these topics. And I hope that you feel inspired by it and remember the importance of these conversations in your life and your UWC experience.
What does critical engagement mean to me? To me, it means community, safe space, and growth.
And in doing that as a facilitator, I found it really powerful. And yet that chance to sit and hold that space for all of the students, all of you to go through that, I was blown away.
It's really important to have those spaces, an often rare space where we can really be comfortable with one another in exploring these complex topics.
But also the tools to actually then go on and live your values and impact the world in the way that you want.
In about 7 years that I am with the UWC movement, critical engagement is by far the most profound.
For me, critical engagement is one of the best options out there to give back as an alum to the United World College movement.
To me, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and more specifically equity, means acknowledging that everybody's humanity is sacred, and it means acknowledging the importance of access to opportunity for everybody.
And we're living in an increasingly globalized world, so we have to consider how diversity is becoming even more a part of our lives.
Especially this time, right now, it's so important to know where we come from and how do we go forward. Where is our position in relation to all that's out there?
And with inclusion, it sort of goes through how and why we want to be part of communities, and also how and why we might do that more intentionally and think about the power structures, the kind of histories and the relationships that we take on when we go into them.
We've all worked so hard on putting this together.
Really ask yourself and your peers all these hard questions.
Critical engagement is in the word critical.
Deconstruct and rebuild who you are.
Because it's okay not to know everything.
Find those very important things and values that will speak to you directly.
Just go and trust yourself.
Stay present.
Put in what you want to get out.
I wish you the best.
Enjoy the ride.
And I'm sure your UWC time will be amazing.
We are excited to have you.
Excited to have you.